All right, I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be back in 120 seconds.
Coke. All. I actually just got Final Fantasy III for my phone, because it's the only one I've never beaten.
I don't think I've ever beaten it either. Yeah, Johan. Andrea loves this thing so much. He wants to let us so bad. And I hear that FF3 is brutal just because the final dungeon, there's only one save point outside.
Yeah.
And it's just a big boss rush. Interesting decision.
Big Gubasu Rashu.
Yeah. Man, I've been enjoying playing Metal Gear Solid again. It's been a while. It's interesting to play it with hindsight and with a bunch of people in chat who like also enjoy how ridiculous it is.
I know you've played up through 3. Have you ever touched 4, Peace Walker, or 5?
I actually waited in line to get the PS3 gunmetal thing, the backwards compatible one that came with MGS4. So I played it and I took a week off of work to beat it and play a shitload out of it. But I was kind of bummed out by the way 4 went back to like the super convoluted storytelling of 2 and didn't play it again. So I remember almost nothing from 4's storyline. There's a couple sequences. Like that game's long hallway stuck with me. But
Oh yeah.
I honestly don't remember too much else from it.
I have to like rewatch it. Any of the plot details and twists and turns. It is really dense.
I'm back. What's this?
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
19 minutes. Well, it showed us 6 minutes last night, so I guess it is early in the morning. We'll see. We can try to dork around and do something else in game while we wait for Q to pop. Microsoft and Bethesda are doing stuff today. I don't know if I'm actually terribly excited about announcements from either dev. Oh shit, well we're already at 12 DPS, 3 healers, 3 tanks, so that's not bad.
Crap. Hopes that I'm queuing as a tank. Hopefully I don't fail.
Microsoft expected to announce anything? Alright, Forrest. Truly the Dark Souls of shooters. I'm looking forward to doing Resident Evil 4 on stream. It's such an important game, and I just never played it. Probably end up doing the PC version. You haven't played it either?
Did 5 actually.
Yeah, 5 was a local co-op, which was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Day when it was
Talisman's pretty easy to play, I recall. Yeah, do the anime glasses adjust, Kami? Guess I could like go to Idleshire and yell somebody queue in, because it would definitely filter into our group, right, if they're on the same data center as us.
Reddit.
Yeah, there you go. Start the clock here. Is it shout in this one? Shout.
Don't want to play my paladin.
Yeah. Oh, have they finished upgrading Idleshire now? Is it like completely settled?
Should be.
Goblin building? I didn't explore it since they patched it last. That's cute. Slip Slicks? Repeatable quest. Pro Ultimate Shielding. Oh, it's been finished for a while? Gotcha. That seems to be the pattern, right? I'll probably see that in Stormblood as well.
You guys actually go through the
Lost you there. I think your sensitivity might still be set a little aggressively. What was that? Or not aggressively enough, whichever one it is.
Oh, sorry, I had changed it in the wrong direction.
Oh, very good. Did we actually do what?
That's of Shinryu, Omega, and all that, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That was cool. I really liked how they nailed the FF5 look of both of those. Like they took the sprites and made them 3D. It was pretty sweet looking.
It took me a second to realize what they were referencing, and then it's like, oh, that's what this is.
I caught the Omega one right away. Which Omega they were referring to would probably tip me off, but if we were chatting, like, which is that, like oh wait, no, really long tail. Yeah, Shinryu. Good choice too, because Shinryu is harder than Bahamut in Final Fantasy V, so they're the OG.
Yeah, I've been trying to reread the lore a little bit. It's reminding me of when they called back to these things. I guess they seeded Omega for a while in the patch notes, or not patch notes, the patch releases. Teleji, Aleji, whatever, was trying to go after the Cartano Flats, I think. So it's a little less, oh yeah, Omega just pops out of nowhere, then it seems like.
Yeah, people were saying that I guess this quest line introduces the idea of Nero being an ally a little bit better, and it's not just, oh, BT dubs, let's go wake up this apocalyptic super weapon, because it would be worse if the bad guys wake up the apocalyptic super weapon. Like, okay. Oh yeah, he's just gonna, eat Shinryu and then we'll put him to sleep. Where it's not gonna be a raid boss at all. Not a problem. Just waiting for a exclamation point, oh my god. But Go to all the main cities and shout about it. Hey, we got a 4th healer. 2 healers, 3 tanks.
Sweet.
Now, is this the one that's pretty much face roll Crystal Tower, or is there anything we need to know?
The first boss is actually going to be pretty funny because there's actually an extra problem with the first boss when you vastly overpower him.
Cool.
We walk into. But
That's interesting. This is the only 24-person dungeon that asks for 6 tanks. Does it actually end up mattering? Do they really use 6 tanks?
I don't think they really need 6 tanks, no. Well, thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one that needs 5 at least, to my memory. Needs in scare quotes, but designed for it probably.
Doing all right, Sornus. Yesterday we went and had Ghetto Canes. Hey, another couple tanks. 2 healers, 1 tank. Ghetto Canes is make your own cane sauce, go to Sonic and order 2 orders of chicken strips, and then make some Texas toast at home. Yeah, that seems really excessive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm interested to see how the whole AoE provoke thing is going to change in encounter design. That's that and the rescue ability for healers. I was talking to Max about that off stream. It sounds pretty exciting for encounter design.
Has Dark Knight been the only one with any kind of AoE threat gen? What is in the Warriors toolkit like that? Is there like a spammable, reliable thing like the Dark Knight's one thing?
Yeah, overpower is pretty great for it. I mean, it's not 360 degrees, but
the cone?
That almost never matters. Yeah.
It was
Those
basically
seasons
Paladins
damage
had
too.
Flash, and they had your overpower cone. It had whatever the thing with all the spikes coming up from the ground is. I don't remember the name of.
Just 2 more healers.
Well, despite having played this game over 2 years with veteran awards, there's some very basic things that I'm just illiterate on.
Is that the one where you were using Super Soaker, Sornus? The guy invented the Super Soaker. 1 more healer was even AMA on Reddit recently. It was pretty cool.
I saw some of that.
Yeah, caught that.
Typical engineer.
I think I'm gonna have to build my second machine, especially if Stormblood's gonna get more aggressive. This is probably the most graphically demanding game that I play. So pretty much anything else that's graphically demanding, I can get it on console. I guess I could get this.
No, I hadn't even thought to check the recs. What's the recommended video card now? Do you have anything off the top of your head that you know?
Logical increments. You mean for Stormblood?
Recommended recs. If you don't know, then I can just Google it. I was just asking the top of your head.
No. I think that the GTX 1050 Ti is kind of your middle ground. Really good. Probably would be an upgrade if you haven't touched your machine in a couple of years. It's like $140.
I've got a... Yeah, I bought a 970 a couple years ago, and I haven't found anything that I've needed to upgrade past that yet.
Oh, thanks, Gibbs. 750.
Cool.
The Wii version, really? Okay. I have I think it's the PC version that we did for Subblock, but we would restart it since we only played it for an hour. I know RE4 has a feature that's not really advertised. Hey, full queue. God.
Nice.
Where, you ever been in that situation where you're farming for an item that has a 1% drop rate and you just don't expect it to drop? You just keep doing whatever the shit you're doing and it drops and in a couple minutes you're like, oh wait, I wasn't actually expecting that to happen ever. So. It's like queuing.
My pure Bladestone and Demon's Souls dropped. I got it on the second day. And people farmed that shit for weeks. I was like, oh wait.
He was playing Dark Souls 1 and got a goddamn Titanite slab up of the first Dark Wraith he killed. I was pissed at him.
Oh god.
Is this a big deal? Yes. Music's cool. Let's try to crank it in a sec.
What do the flowers by people's names mean now?
That's it's it gives you the you're a newbie bonus again. It's if you haven't played it in a while, you can turn that on and you're treated as being a new player for another set of days.
Cool.
Cool. FF3 music. It says no alliance members. Does that not start until after everybody queues in?
Yeah, you gotta just wait for everybody to get out of the cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember these encounters enough to give us some mild pointers, Flarming?
Yeah, I think so. I'll do my best at least. Go ahead and slash it, everybody.
Is it going to be face rolling,
cool.
basically? Are we over geared and that factors in?
Oh yeah.
So I think it's just going to be a tour of cool music. I do hope they add more incentives to run these eye-level synced in the future.
Yeah.
Because I really liked Coil, but it was a bummer that it was so trivial.
I think difficulty-wise, you should expect a lot less than our Heavensward 24-mans in general for all these. Medium tier of first three, though.
Yeah, me too, Spiky. That would have been such a cool way to do it, just keep doing classic dungeons. I mean, there was a ton of Final Fantasy hype in there. I really wish... Ozma should have been the final fight. I can't believe that wasn't even the final fight of its wing. It was a really well-designed battle, too. Valifor. You can't just have Valifor be a...
Yeah.
Fucking... kidding me with that shit? They're gonna regret that. What's the word on when you're level capped at 50 as a warrior? Is turning on Defiance just a DPS upgrade overall, given that it actually hurts your DPS? Because it decreases your damage by 20%, but it gives you new abilities that you can use off cooldown that I imagine might negate that overall. I don't know, if you're above 50 you use Deliverance and that's fine, but... Oh god, Sortus. I should probably try doing one of those someday. I don't really have the intuition for how a large group of people would handle the adjudication part of the LARP without having a central game master. It sounds like everybody's just kind of responsible for their own shit. Shh.
Yeah, it's interesting because I found that sometimes the most ardent nerd gamers are very willing to cheat And I imagine that LARPers are pretty ardent, so I wonder how that works.
I feel like that would be the critical. It's sort of the same thing with tabletop D&D, just tabletop RPGs in general. Like, you want to play with a group of people who are wanting to, have fun with it, but are also willing to go along with whatever the GM has put together.
Yeah.
And make it fair for everybody else, and aren't just trying to have fun at everyone else's expense. But I imagine LARPs generally have to be even more people than the typical table of 4 or 5. Defiance is still a DPS loss. So you can shut it off if you're not actually needing the tank. Although maybe the benefits of having all the extra health are worth it. So the Heavensward raid had trash, but it was, I guess this is comparable trash. This just seems like there's just a shit ton of enemies. There's not really a lot of mechanics to deal with.
Oh, that purple stuff is bad, so they're not doing a good job of pulling them out of the bad right now.
Okay. This was their first try at like huge raid content, so they learned a lot of lessons from Crystal Tower. Is that right? Sort of like don't queue in 6 tanks.
Yeah.
It was cool to see those lessons learned in action with the different coils as you go through the turns.
Usually like to look at all the Alliance tanks and memorize who they are, but I can't do it when there's 6 of them.
Yeah, right. Can't mark them. Bone Dragon. Is this actually a boss in FF3? It's been a long time. I got to the final dungeon but never beat it on the DS version.
Ooh.
Might be. I don't remember.
I know that Bone Dragon has been an enemy in Final Fantasy for a long time. Is there one in the Crusader? Is one of the Crusader dragons? Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
That was pretty cool. Is that this is our punishment for killing it too fast mechanic there? Good God. As far from the boss as possible.
Do not kill the skeletons. You're supposed to let the tanks only hit them, and we're going to pull them far away down these aisles. But the DPS that are new are not going to give us the chance to do that. They're just going to whack them down.
Oh, then the boss raises. Okay, so we got to try to kill them and evoke them as far away when they spawn. Gotcha. And they're trying to work as well to get the boss away from them. So as long as they don't die near the boss, they don't do that giant AoE, I guess.
Thank God that one tank finally pulled him. Usually I like to pull the Bone Dragon north,
Yeah,
so then it's really clear.
Makes sense. You can tell if a stream is live by hovering over it and looking for the red dot. You can also see vodcasts now. There's a little message right above them that says this is playing a video. If you don't see that, then you know it's live.
You can also ask Marstead about current events.
Yeah, that works. I will respond to you.
What he had for breakfast this morning.
They are working on making that clearer. Yes, I very much like the vodcast system, Bucket. It's challenging as a variety streamer who beats games and doesn't play them again. Because if you played Chrono Trigger 2 years ago, no one's ever going to come into your stream again who likes to see games like Chrono Trigger. It's also kind of fun to go back through the history of the channel. Basically have reruns.
Fucking syndication.
Yep. Like Seinfeld. But it's cool because it's the radio effect, right? You can go home and listen to whatever song you want, just by pulling it up on your computer. It feels different from hearing that same song on the radio and having it be synced to everyone else in the car is listening with you. It's a special moment in time. I think most people would prefer live. It doesn't surprise me. Still, it's a step up from VODs, though. This is going to be bad.
Yep.
Had the vision
Of course, you're going to have... Why is the Bone Dragon in the center again? Come on, guys. Listen, forever, I don't want to be the main tank. I don't have to, but I can certainly improve over these doofuses.
Holy shit, one item. Wow. Learning lessons. Fortunately, we don't actually need any of that. Yeah, it's cool to chat about stuff too. I try to chat during the podcast if I'm around.
I really like them. I think they're fun.
Yeah. I just think Twitch needs to continue to work to make it clearer when it's a vodcast versus live. But they've already added a feature just this past Friday. It has a little bar over the top. One item per alliance. Yeah, per party. But still, it's just like... Jiminy. Tokens all the way. It was borderline ridiculous in Guild Wars 2 how many tokens you got. Like, they moved to not even having it take up inventory space. You just had this wallet that had like 100 plus different types of tokens. It's with the alliance markers here. Oh. Go to the one that is our marker.
Yep. Pilot Pure Day.
Figured it out.
Before. In another 24-man. I'm talking about the boss, not that thing.
Oh, the Tomos thing was cool.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a new idea in the second...
Wherever it was.
24-man, yeah, the Ozma fight. That's cute. I do like that about this. I don't really remember World of Warcraft playing on old raid mechanics all that often. Maybe I just didn't play enough of it, I don't remember. I'm sure they've done that with, like I heard they did, maybe Apex you were telling me about this. They brought back the Leroy dungeon, and they actually had Leroy as an achievement you could do.
Yeah, he was still there, and he was like, "Oh, I've been asleep for 13 years" or something like that. It was pretty neat.
Okay, we all need to be on pads, I see, but four people on each pad.
Just 4 on the pad. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And apparently, the DPS, the ad's supposed to be brought to the DPS back here.
But just so they
I'm
can
gonna go
kill
up
it.
so I can heal you. I don't feel like
Yeah. You can't reach me from there. Sorry. Yeah, that's my
it's
bad.
fine.
That is my bad.
Now, do we have to do anything with the Atomos, or is it made vulnerable by people standing on the pads or something?
I think we got one dude over there. We do have everybody else on the pad. Bro, DPS... He's a sprout, he doesn't know. Just attack Atomos, bro.
Okay,
I'm
so
taking my
Atomos has to go
aggro.
down first.
Just it's quicker. Alright. Last.
Gotcha. There's 3 wings of this, right? Do you know if there's interstitial quests or if completing this immediately unlocks the next wing?
I forget actually. Story in between, but I forgot how they handled it. I forgot if it was all front loaded into the boss or not.
So I assume these guys are all going to queue right back in. I guess we'll see what happens. Take too long, it spawns an iron giant that cleaves everyone for 99.99. That's cool.
It's a magic pot!
Nice.
That's right.
About time. I didn't see that. Boss can only be damaged by invisibly buffed party. Anything of note here? Protect, heal your pot, kill ads.
Yep. So
Heal
I'll tank,
what's
bro.
with my tether all of a sudden? Is that the buff we just got that lets us damage the boss?
That means we get to damage the boss. So I'll tank the boss. You get all the ads.
Okay.
Or, well, we can both do it because all the other tanks are taking the ads. But be careful for our pot.
I will not let this pot die.
Yeah, yay, magic
I'm
pots.
on it.
Feed it elixirs.
Yeah.
The party tanks will off tank when you become invisible. Oh, that's cool.
So we won't go through many phases of this because we're so strong.
Yeah. That's a really cool boss mechanic, though. Okay, now we're not invisible anymore. Gotcha. Just the boss shows us invulnerable. What is the magic pot doing? Like, why do we have to protect it? Is it providing the buff?
That's the first one did. I'm not sure what else they do. Oh god! Oh my god! They're on the pot!
I'm working on it.
Tank,
It's okay, he's like
the other tank won't poke off me. Help ya.
May or may not be letting the other healer die in favor of healing the pot. So
You've got
right way.
priorities here, right? Kill this thing, man. So good focuses in on the pot.
Over here, face tanking.
Pots rotate through giving one party the invisible blue buff. So they all have to be alive for that to continue to happen?
Or maybe there's just, one's dead a third of the time, no one can do anything to the boss. Like it just kind of falls apart.
Sure. Painless either way, that's true.
Yeah, that's why I'm not causing a shitstorm. There's too many tanks with egos. As it is.
That's another fight that would be really cool if it was tuned more aggressively. Or it wasn't, overdone by being overgeared.
Yeah.
Kill your ads. I guess since we're 2 tanks and a healer, if there is a bit of interstitial questing to unlock the next step, they'll probably be waiting on us anyway, so...
That's true, yeah.
Go. What? Oh.
Not useless DPS. How do you think they'd handle roles in that Magic the Gathering MMO? Do you think it would still be tank healer DPS? Everyone is a summoner?
Good question.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, they've already got sort of in the lore. Some of the planeswalkers are definitely more martial, so I think you can. They definitely have healer story guys, and sort of, like Garrick is kind of a forest brawler, kind of a guy.
Thinking about ways that they could include summoning without everyone literally having pets with them all the time is kind of neat. I think you could still have summon a creature to do an ability and have that all happen in the space of a couple seconds. Or they could just offload that and say, no, you don't really summon creatures anymore. You just have spells and abilities. Creatures are things that you fight. I'm pretty stoked about that just because it sounds like it's really, really cool. Oh shit, I flipped the wrong one. We're okay.
Alright. I got A, and I'm trying to keep him near A. We need
B to go to B.
B to get all the way across. Looks like he's about to do it. Spinny to Winnie. That's why we're trying to keep them apart.
It seems like the Magic setting is just ripe for making an MMO because there's so many different enemies they can do, and I love the idea of taking existing card mechanics and converting it. What were you gonna say, Flaring?
And focus on the bombs that are going to the center when they appear. Same as the guy said. But as far as lore-wise for a Magic the Gathering MMO, people talking in chat about being a planeswalker. Can you remind me what a planeswalker is in Magic lore?
Someone that's able to travel between the planes. Okay, go ahead.
Pushed up my glasses. So it's actually really interesting to totally derail the conversation.
Go for it.
In the Magic lore and how they're going to do the MMO, because there are two types of planeswalkers. So like back in the day, planeswalker is someone that has this like trick in their brain that lets them have super magical abilities and also move between different multiverses, basically, like at different dimensions of the multiverse, and those are planes. So you can go to the badass like Shiva, which is the fire dragon plane, but it's really just a world that is all that. Or there's like Dominaria, which is just Earth.
Kill him.
But and so Urza was like the planeswalker from back in the day. Most planes have like one guy that's badass enough to be a planeswalker at a time. But from cool story shit, eventually everyone couldn't be as powerful as Urza, and I mean, those old planeswalkers were gods. I mean, they could just think about it and you die. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, they were arguably more powerful than you, the character, when you're playing the game of Magic. Like, you with your deck of cards, and they were better than you. It was kind of the way it worked. So they tuned them down through the story eventually so that no planeswalker is that powerful anymore. There's all this lore stuff about it. But basically, now the planeswalkers are more in line with, like, they're kind of weaker than you as a player of the game. Like, you can summon them to help you out, and they'll do a couple things, and then they're gone. So I'm sure that anyone can be a planeswalker in the MMO on the level of sort of the new class.
Right.
But all the big bads that you might fight, like there's a super evil planeswalker that's almost as strong as the original guys. Like I'm sure he's going to be the big bad, but there aren't many of those. Again, for lore reasons.
But you could play as just a person who can travel between the planes and summon things, but you won't be like a god. Maybe you'll try to become one, but they could do a story where for some reason a ton of people will wake up with the spark one day and explain why there's thousands of people walking around doing this instead of like, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Alright, so it sounds like this is the behemoth fight. So he drops rocks, we have to stand behind them to not get killed by meteor, I assume.
Yeah. There's 4 towers, 1 tank on each tower. Click it when it activates. 2 other tanks, 1 is going to get the behemoth, and 1 will get an iron giant that spawns. Keep them away from everybody. Said the meteor will happen, and we'll have to hide behind it. So
the reason that lore is exciting, though, is you could envision an expansion for a plane. So you could do like the Innistrad expansion and have an entire, so much content. Just look at all the cards that were in Innistrad.
Yeah, they've been like 25 or 30 different planes at this point. I mean, more than that, maybe.
The base game could probably have a decent sampling of them, too, but...
Yeah.
My favorite thing I love in Hearthstone that, they take these WoW boss mechanics and try to figure out a card that makes sense, and doing that in the opposite direction seems even cooler to me. Like, how do you take the basic flavor of something that makes you discard and draw? Like, what is looting in an MMO? Click the thing when it goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Click the thing when it goes off. What does clicking the tower do? Does it make us take a bunch of damage or something?
It prevents an AoE from hitting the raid.
Is there a reason
when 4 of them are going off?
Because we're less useful for other things?
Yeah, there's only 2 real things to tank in this fight, so you got 4 spare tanks. Any of these tanks know what to do, though.
Okay, activated. Interacted it when it gets the little thing around it. Gotcha.
Yep.
Iron Giant, Ouroboros, and King Behemoth. It's pretty cool. Iron Giant, I think, was the big wall in Final Fantasy III that would destroy you.
Do it. Brah. That means meteor's coming.
So just be have a rock between you and him.
Oh,
Yeah, this one's pretty close to him, though. Get behind the fast one. Oh, God. Don't get behind one that's real close to him. So, see, I'm dropping this meteor way far away. So, keep Behemoth in the center.
Yeah, right, Spiky.
Meters
this is
far.
early design. We've got 6 tanks. Need something for them to do. Why don't they just click a tower every so often?
Yeah.
Heyo. We can call out when he gets in his hind legs. Close enough to the comet this time. Iron Giant's down.
Man. So mad I don't have my level 60 abilities. I want to heal myself. I want to have my other rotations. I want so much stuff.
Yes, I've played WoW before. And I went from never having played the game to...
There it comes.
Cool, thank you.
Crap, did anybody drop a comet close? Oh.
You'll be able to survive. I didn't hide in the last one.
Okay.
Looks like there's another giant.
Look at all those dead folks.
Someone knocked it out in the tower.
I'm picking the other tanks up.
I can go hit the towers really quick, then someone else is grabbing.
Yeah, top 2 are covered.
There's one tank down still. I don't know where he's supposed to go.
Probably southwest. We're supposed to call him out before we go, but it's been so long. People won't do it that way anymore.
Each active tower
Yeah,
is basically just causing a ticking dot on everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's a periodic AoE.
Yeah, we just got blasted with something.
Same concept.
No one's picking up that tank. I'll get him in a second.
Yeah. Can someone go click that? Well, I'll go.
I'm on
click
it.
Somebody's getting it. Okay.
Because I can use sprint in this fight since I'm not
Comes
using my
a
ability.
meteor.
Thanks. Oh, I don't have any comments near me. I'm super dead.
Oh no.
Yay, sprint! Ooh.
MMO, then you should just stop. I mean, you should, after you play MMOs long enough, you'll be able to recognize when you're starting to get sick of it. And then I think the correct thing to do is you just stop
Yeah, you play
and
a
wait
game...
for the fun feeling to come back.
Yeah. You wait until you've completely collapsed the wave function, and
Yeah.
you're squeezing blood from a stone, and then you stop playing.
The problem is that people have their identities, as crazy as that sounds, tied up in being an MMO gamer or a tank or whatever. And then it becomes hard to stop. But, you know, that's in general why I think it's a good idea to have a casual, friendly MMO. It doesn't create those negative incentives, but you don't want to push away the players that just want to commit everything either.
Yeah. Oh, the boss
So
music
those are the
cool.
folks that have to learn how to stop.
Cool. Cut. No, this means you haven't played it before. Feel free to queue in. We'll see if there's people there because we have to unlock the next step of it. Assuming it doesn't unlock automatically. Crimson Mad. Actually kind of cool. Legathon. Watches Caspar for Ancient Flare. Enough people with those to activate shield.
See the piddle pad we're standing on? Everybody's got to run to that, or else bad things will happen.
When he starts casting something and you see someone moving to where the markers are around, you need to book it there.
Yeah.
Okay, these platforms trigger a shield that keep us from getting killed by Ancient Flare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear that Aki fall. This is a good game. This is a good MMO to play like it's single player, I think. Kill the things, avoid the things, kill the things that grab people. Okay. Roger.
Yeah. My cool Furion attire for my vet reward. It's the Furion attire without the helm.
All these people actually like saying yes to ready checks. Holy shit.
Aggro. Who's gonna get it?
The fight. Hey, Megiddo Flame. Dude, they gotta add Blue Mage to this game. I don't know. It's not gonna be cool though. It was so cool in 11 because that game was so non-homogenized, but I bet if they added it, they'd have to really homogenize it. It's like it's the equivalent of the way Warlock used to work in vanilla WoW, where they had all these ridiculously flavorful abilities like kill a party member to summon a demon. Like, that's so cool, but does not fit in modern MMO design.
Yeah.
I don't think Blue Mage could work in this game, but it was really neat. Every single enemy in 11 had a blue magic ability, so you have to like go through the whole game world and learn your abilities from everything. Run to the circle, Ancient Flare.
We're good at A.
You basically just have to go
Iron
outside once that's activated. That's pretty fast with Caspar. The Red Mage seems pretty
Outside to help, but don't need to. Well, as far as Blue Mage, wasn't there some speculation that story-wise, old Raban might be a Blue Mage? Didn't I see that somewhere? Abilities in the expansion are going to hint toward that.
That'd be cool. I think you'd be forcing a circular peg into a square hole to get Blue Mage to work in 14. Oh shit, that's your dad. Ouch. Yay for being a tank. 99.99, it's not that big of a number. How did this original fight work in Final Fantasy III? Did he also cast Ancient Flare and use Reflect or something?
I don't remember.
Remember Iron Giant, that's about it.
I saw it on a random Reddit post, Darkstar. I thought I had decent logic at the time, but I don't remember why. Shit!
Oh god.
Yeah, limit breaks exist in this game.
I could see that, Spiky. Like, having that be the job quest every 5 levels is like, queue into this dungeon and have the boss hit you with... And since a lot of those AoEs or a lot of those abilities are on the ground, you wouldn't have to have aggro or anything. Blue Mage tank blocks. I don't think they do it as a tank. Just only give them White Wind and call them a healer.
They'd already be better than the existing healers.
Yeah, right. As long as you're full on health, otherwise it sucks. You should just be able to queue in with us, Darkstar. We were waiting for quite a while to get the full group of people, but we have to unlock the next step of the dungeon.
Oh, I guess I haven't asked you guys. Are you guys keeping the same class for Stormblood, or are you thinking of switching?
I'm probably going to stay Warrior.
Yeah, I'll probably say Scholar, at least until Max, and then maybe try something new.
Yeah, if they had made Samurai into a Samurai or a Red Mage into a tank, I might have considered switching, but
I'm debating Paladin and Red Mage at this point, but don't know.
I doubt there's any other groups that are looking for healers, Darkstar. We were sitting on max DPS, waiting for tanks and healers for a good 10 minutes. Oh, does it matter? Okay. It'll be 5, 6, 7, 8 once I get out of this.
No.
Yeah, Red Mage seems like a cool class. I'd like to check it out. I'll probably end up taking both classes through Palace of the Dead just to check out their abilities.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do that to start. My problem, though, is I had the exact same thoughts about Machinist, and then I just got disappointed whenever I tried it out, despite my interest in it. So, same thing may happen again.
Machinist might be better after they do the rework, do you think?
Flamethrower looked badass. That's enough for me to say it's now officially a cool class and not a Bobo class, but as far as wanting to play it, I don't know.
I'll show you in a sec, Spiky.
Looks like we got to go back to St. Coinax and turn in a quest to
Okay.
maybe we're done.
Alexander is pretty reasonable about unlocking new shit. Party Finder.
Dark Stars. Something about the rotation and the random based chance of it didn't feel good. So I'm hoping Red Mage doesn't turn out the same. It looks like there's probably going to be more of a priority based rotate. I don't know, it's hard to say. The whole dual cast thing is going to put some interesting complications on how that class works based on random procs of, I think it's the fire and the stone, for fire versus stone. So I have no idea if that's going to feel good or bad.
To your question, I have Warrior 60, Monk 51, Paladin 60, Dragoon 45, Bard 53, Ninja 30, White Mage 39, Black Mage 30, and Summoner / Scholar 60. I really liked Bard until Wanderer's Minuet, and then I hate the class after that. It was a super bummer. It's probably one of my least favorite mechanical decisions in the history of MMOs. It's extremely lazy, too. Are they changing that at all in Stormblood?
Oh, so, right? Pretty sure bards are free to move now.
Thank God. I might
And
play Bard
machinists.
again.
I mean, that was the stand-up part of the class. I could tell that at level 1.
I'm gonna skip the interstitial
Isn't it?
cutscene just to queue us again faster, assuming that there's another fate running step here. But if there's anything important in those cutscenes, let me know.
Nothing so far.
Circus Tower, we gotta go back to the Crystal Tower entrance southeast after this dialogue. Yeah, it's interesting to do Bard in Palace of the Dead, because it's like, wow, I'm having fun. This is so much fun. And then as soon as you hit 52, you're like, fuck. Alright. Now the game is no longer fun.
Oh wow, okay, so there's a cutscene with Nero. This is where you get the idea that he wants to do something better than Ultima.
Oh, okay. So it's establishing that. I guess I should go back and
Yeah.
watch that in the inn at some point.
I mean, it doesn't tell you he's Nero, but he does say something ominous about Ultima weapon. So
we know that it's him because of.
Yeah, you can tell it's him.
Later, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that in Discord a little bit. It's kind of trying to think if there was another example of a character and optional content that had some sort of relevance of that significance to the storyline. The only thing I came up with was Alice. But I don't think
she basically disappears from the main story if you didn't do Coil right.
And that's basically what I did. I hadn't completed it at the time, so I think when she was reintroduced to me, it was just like, "Hey, I'm here again." And like a clash of, all of a sudden she's acting weird though.
Une and Doga, that's cute. I remember that from FF3, right? Skipping low just to make sure we can queue in without having to wait on a completely different group. Hey, Serp, how's it going?
3.
But yeah, I totally agree, Spiky. It was definitely, you can see what they did. They said, oh man, there's this disparity between bards and every other class, and that they can move around, and we need to increase the homogeneity because we can't balance around this. So let's like make the most obvious band-aid in the world that just takes all of their existing abilities and gives them cast bars and makes them just like every other DPS. Super lazy. And it worked, but that Doga's artifact, go to the auction house. I know the game has market boards, but they're gonna have to do a dungeon and an auction house at some point, or do like an Owser's Mansion type raid or dungeon. Let me know when you get it in your duty finder at Circus Tower, Apex.
Spelled nothing like circus, as you would normally expect it.
Yeah. Fantasy Circus.
All right, I got it.
Oh, let me go back to Monk. That's what the issue is.
Why would that matter? Just curious.
Only one tank per party.
Oh.
Nice.
That auto popped, so they were waiting on us. Auto pop Crystal Tower, living the dream, it sounds like. Yeah, so I'll watch those cutscenes in the inn afterwards, especially if it's bringing Nero in and making that seem less abrupt. I still think whether, Nero is established earlier on, like, clearly Omega's gonna eat Shinryu and we're gonna have a raid boss fight against it. We're not gonna, oh yeah, we're just gonna put it into stasis and everything's gonna be fine. Let's just merge it with this other super boss and put it to sleep. We don't have to worry about them waking it up after that. Really? 1 DPS? Ah, you serious, game? We were basically full.
They went to a new group. What?
That blows. Yeah, because I think we had too many healers. Since we were just at the right amount before. It's Dark Star's fault.
Ah!
Alright. Go find something to do while we wait. Oh, we're back full up.
Nice.
See what happens.
Leave the monk class a little bit. You guys caught up on Dragon Ball Super? Are you watching it?
Yes.
You watching? Are you current as of like last Friday?
Yeah.
Man.
What the? It's pretty cool.
Holy shit! I watched the new one this morning from yesterday.
I think that would be a good idea, Spiky, but they should probably default join in progress. I think most people don't have that set. I heard that Dragon Ball Super is a thing because Toriyama saw the shitty like live action Dragon Ball movie.
Ball
And was
Evolution.
so disappointed. So he made a couple animated movies and he kind of got back into the swing of it.
Yeah.
That's a much cooler story than
Wow.
like him being forced to continue working on it after he was done. He was done after the Cell Saga, or was he even done after Frieza?
Really think the big unstated secret of it is that Toriyama is really not the main creative vision anymore. He's providing the basic plot outlines and he's letting other people do the main 90% of where the story's going on a day-to-day basis. And I think that makes
a
all the
bunch of
difference.
people that grew up with Dragon Ball and are super hype about it.
Yeah, it's funny though because
Is there.
the fan base, the hardcores are pretty upset. The DBZ Reddit is fun to read just for the salt because people will start to argue about power levels and how can this happen now based on what we saw back in Dragon Ball Z. And Toriyama said in interviews, I just kind of forgot people's power levels.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't important to me. I was trying to tell a story, and they just fucking hate it.
Could have fought off the Saiyans if he wanted to. He was actually strong enough to do that. What? You broke that arc by what? People get so mad at that, but it's so.
We're in the second wing, so
with
we're
it.
about to start it. We have one DPS. Okay, there we go.
I think this is the one I remember the least about, so we'll see how it goes.
Hey, cool, more Final Fantasy 3 music. First one was really cool. I wish that I wish I could do some of those fights when they're actually tuned to not be face rollable, but the Behemoth one was neat other than like we don't know what to do with 6 tanks, so 4 of them click a button every 15 seconds was pretty weak. Final boss was cool. I like the ones with the magic pots as well.
Behemoth King was really the biggest spectacle in the game by the point he came out.
Yeah.
I guess the first 5 tiers of the raid were probably out about the same time, but
Was the
spectacle like that.
the world boss Behemoth in the game at the time too? He has the same. Does he do Comet? I know he does Meteor.
Where is he? Isn't he in the snowland somewhere?
Yeah,
he's up here.
Kurthus. He's not like Final Fantasy 11 though. Behemoth in that game spawned once a day, but it wasn't every 24 hours. It was every 21 to 24 hours. So there was a 3-hour window where if you were a raiding guild, you had to wait for him to pop because he dropped stuff that everybody needed. And there was a 10% chance each day that instead of Behemoth spawning, it would be King Behemoth, which is what everybody actually wanted. So if you were part of a raiding guild, you were expected to go wait in the world every day for 3 hours a day on a 10% chance that the boss you needed might spawn, that you might claim it, because only one group could claim it, right? And then if you claimed it, that it might drop the thing you need, and you might roll and get the loot. It was cancer. I don't know what they were thinking. Oh, there's like these shinobi ninjas. That's cool. I think those were enemies in Final Fantasy 3. Aren't the ninjas in the floating continent like the most dangerous thing in all of the FF6 speedrun
Excuse me. Yeah, they're pretty bad. I think by that point you usually want to kill a couple because of EXP reasons, and you're trying to level up particular magics for Celeste to have. I think that's around the time you're trying to get Fire 2 and Ice 2 for her. And or Terra, I forget which one. But yeah, they're a headache, for sure.
Oh, who's dissing Final Fantasy 14, sir? This game's great. And the music's amazing. It's so good. Whoa. Oh yeah, Scylla.
Ah.
So, I don't know who in chat was watching the Dungeons and Dragons podcast, but there's this big monster in a hallway that had a bunch of gross tentacles all over the place. That's Scylla from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Has a bunch of wolf heads. I don't remember Scylla in the Final Fantasy III Crystal Tower, but sprite looks about right. Lady body with like 6 wolf heads on it. That's a really cool model. I'm surprised they haven't reused that elsewhere. Drag orbs of the pillars around the room. If you have an orb. Okay.
That's right.
Staff of Elderling. Tank those. Oh, Elder Ring. Excuse me. Looks like they're just AoE sources. Yeah, where's Charybdis? There's a Charybdis.
So the ice orbs, you don't know.
Yeah, you're right. There's fire, ice, and electricity. And electricity goes to the thing.
Oh, there's the
Break
3
someone
little
out of
elemental
ice.
icons on them. Right, red, yellow, and green. Yes, if someone wants to explain what's supposed to be happening. Oh, Ancient Flare, that seems bad. Are we supposed to stand in something to have that not kill us?
Ow.
No, it wasn't that bad. I mean, we're just face rolling it, but it would be cool to know what the mechanic they're supposed to be. It seems pretty cool.
It's definitely the ice orb will freeze you if it's tethered to you, and then someone's got to bring a fire to melt you.
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
Why am I always Alliance A?
Nope, well, they haven't. They learned about not having 6 tanks, but not about 1 piece of loot.
Go monk tank.
I do remember these guys from FF3. And, well, they really put the effort into trying to mirror the original sprite. Like, Google FF3 Acheron. It's pretty cool. The Scylla one, that's probably one of the coolest looking models I've seen in the game.
Don't they have the same folks on their team, at least for the SNES sprites? Fantasy VI sprite was apparently redone by the same team that originally translated for the Super Nintendo.
That's cool.
I wonder if the same thing is true for this.
I have to say that I love Final Fantasy Record Keeper, even though I don't play it, because they've decided that FF6 is the best graphical style, which it totally is. And they've just reinterpreted every Final Fantasy thing as an FF6 sprite, which when I start D&D again is going to be great. Adobe's clone.
Win?
Yeah.
Not if?
Yeah, when's a thing. Just gotta
Cool.
get time for it.
I was watching the stream the other day, and I forgot how badass it was, and I was trying to think if I could get those of us that subscribe to you to pool our viewer hours for a sufficient number of months until it added up.
Work on D&D.
Yeah.
Take the day off. Would be funny. Although I might consider streaming some of the prep. It's hard to say because it's spoilers, but yeah, light the Yahan signal. Yahan calls for aid. It's been a channel meme at this point that whenever D&D comes up, Yahan's like, so when you stream in D&D again? Because he came in during a rebroadcast of the one we did with Flarewing. I think vodcasting makes me a lot more interested in bringing it back, because then I can run it on a vodcast for like a week and just hang out and chat during it. And it'll be less weird to explain to people. I know that like Geek and Sundry is a pretty big D&D channel, and they do rebroadcasting all the time. They just were doing it manually. What's this guy's deal?
You see where A is? We'll have to go there at some point. There's a tank mechanic for some ads that come. I'm trying to remember the specifics. But you can see how fast he's taking damage too.
Yeah. Vile Utterance. They should just do this forever. Make a Kefka's Tower raid. Split into 3 parties, stand on switches and shit. Clockwork Right. They are invulnerable. But I can stand in their circle, which makes them damageable. Okay. I think I understand. Yeah, okay. So the tank moves into the little circle, which makes it so that it can be damaged, but the tank is disabled during it. I think that's it. What's that crazy black AoE he's throwing on the ground? Probably going to A, I'm guessing. That's a really cool attack animation, holy shit. Do some teleport around.
Oh god.
Deathstroke. Was that just like a distance? Or...
Yeah,
Or is
I
it
think
worse
we
if
might
the
push to
dudes
the
are
next
still alive?
phase. Ginzan!
You're probably right, yeah, if the ads are still alive.
Get these badass like tornadoes he's flinging around.
Structo
Yeah,
discs.
Yeah, it's fucking Krillin.
I love that about this game. This game's very polished. Hey, it's the second one of those we've seen.
So we skipped some sort of phase where we were going to have to go to A and get outside onto those platforms
Jump on
to
those
avoid
little
something.
warp spots. So...
We're not liking that fight as a tank because the optimum way to play and the way people want to play it means a lot of times the tank is just sitting there captured if the DPS decide they want to burn him down.
Oh, I see.
Hey guys, I'm in the clockwork widget. Can you help me out?
Mhm.
Sit there the whole fight.
What's the deal with the red carbuncle? Is that just replaces Ifrit if you're a summoner? It's like a skin? This is their second reference
sure.
to Red Dragons, huh? Because they did that in Final Fantasy 9 too. Bit of Mountain Gold or whatever. The FF1 reference. I think there's a shit ton of FF1 references in 9. And you also have the Red Dragon in FF8 with Lagunas.
One I remember. Yeah. He's in the fake play, and then the actual Red Dragon comes up.
Aki Fall has been on a different sleep schedule and has been tuning in for most of my vodcasts, so he's slowly farming Vodcast SP to vote up Final Fantasy VIII.
Been SP into that too. We should get it up there.
It's funny though, he'll be like, anytime somebody will come up, he's like, yeah, this is a really wonky time travel mechanic. He's like, wonky time travel mechanic? Exclamation point Game 08.
I actually just bought it on Steam again recently just because I wanted to play it, see if I can learn the speedrun. I'm not sure if I'll stick with it or not,
I
but
wonder if I'll do the Steam version. It has a bunch of quality of life things, right?
the graphics look amazing. The issue is that the music is still MIDI based, and there's a patch out there that fixes it 90%, but the music is still artificially staccatoed, if you know what I mean.
It's not actually MIDI, right? It's
not a
the
full
PS1
music
sound chip?
replacement.
Is it the original PS1 sound, or is it like they're legit using MIDI?
I believe the original release of it is more of a MIDI base. I may be completely wrong, but it's way off in whatever sound chip it is using.
Mm-hmm.
The replacement mod is not a full replacement back in the PS music.
The PC version doesn't sound like the PlayStation. Okay, that's what I needed to know. Whoa, look at this guy too. Google FF3.
Yeah, really.
That's so cool. I've just been Googling each of these.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. It's too bad that I'm not as connected to Final Fantasy III as virtually every other Final Fantasy game. If this was Kefka's Tower or something, I'd be losing my shit. Shrink the freaky spellcaster dudes with the black orbs. To byproduct. Number 66. Glamour any... Okay, that's cool. So they're just opening the door for more... What's this guy? Is the creepy spellcaster dude? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's neat. I wonder, is that just maybe in that fight in Final Fantasy III they were weak against Mini?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe so.
Shit. FF3 was a lot bigger in Japan. Yeah, I can see that being the case. It was a big deal though, right? I guess it may have been as big of a deal in the US if it had come out here much sooner, because FF3 sort of set the tone for what all the other Final Fantasies were going to be like. Well, I guess so did 4.
That was amazing.
4 was much more so, but...
Yeah.
What amazes you, sorry?
I was just saying, going back and looking at the Wikipedias and seeing how short the time frames of development and release were on those games, still freaks me out.
That's why I think that they should just fucking make Final Fantasy 16 Super Nintendo graphics. Just do it, guys. Like, you could turn it around much faster. You could make it amazing.
It would be cool, but having played 15, they have to make that game over and over again.
Yeah,
it's the new Final Fantasy. It's like Breath of the Wild's the new Zelda. Like,
yeah,
they've reached apotheosis of the idea.
Yeah, I worry. I mean, I mentioned this in my Breath of the Wild review. Like, Breath of the Wild is so rad. How can they possibly top it? Like, other than to just make Breath of the Wild DLC forever. Curtain call.
Well, I was watching through your old videos, and you mentioned at one point, like, this is just the type of Zelda they make now. I kind of like that idea. Like, they've got the Game Boy ones that maybe aren't as great, but they're definitely different than the 3D versions. This is a big 3D version they do now.
I just worry that as
sold
cool
well.
as that would be, that how long did it take for Final Fantasy 15? Like,
yeah, it was a long time.
And you have to take into account that it was originally Final Fantasy 13 spin-off, and they rebuilt. Oh wow, Aki, that's cool. Right, Yahan. Hey, you guys got a cool hat, or whatever the fuck you call it. Fight valiantly, mortals with no bill. I don't think I've ever seen a cutscene with overlaid text like that in this game. It's that asshole Vargas from FF6. Oh shit!
They didn't wait on the cutscene.
Skip the cutscene. And it's a really short timer before it closes.
Uh-oh. I'm going shit. Well.
That's a bummer.
That's more often what happens.
And that's why they probably shouldn't do cutscenes with MJ.
And only takes one asshole.
FF3 Sand. Yeah, that's pretty close. She looks almost closer to his Yashitaka Amano concept art. I wonder why this guy got concept art from Amano. I don't think Amano did concept art for everything. A decade of fabulous exploding star crystals. Did we actually get anything in the Fabula Nova Crystallis Starfall Circle? We've seen this mechanic before with Baja Brea or whatever.
Yeah.
The same idea. Oh, I didn't know that, Sir. I thought that the main villain... So it's been so long since I played FF3. Remember the Dark Cloud Empress thing? But that's kind of like the classic Sakaguchi last minute reveal, right? Get in the wind? Oh, it's float. Gotcha.
Quake, yeah.
That's cool. You probably need float for that fight. Kind of like how Zeromus comes out of fucking nowhere and Necron comes out of nowhere. Chaos comes out of nowhere. Who's the final boss of 2?
Yeah.
Only played 2 once.
Is it Emperor or something, right?
Or Empress. We have to have at least one person in all these circles, presumably. So he was like FF3's Golbez, where the Dark Cloud is Zeromus.
Honestly, why I could never do what you do, Marstead, because I would just want to sing to all the music of the games I play.
Dude,
it would be incredibly annoying.
I was still doing it back in when I'm watching the vodcast because I didn't realize yet that there was enough stream delay. I think it would be fine if there wasn't delay. I have to resist it every single game I play. Quagga. I'm resisting whistling this theme. I think I know this one better from the Black Mages.
Huh. Now
What's
there's
Matsu
a name
doing
I
now?
haven't heard.
In a long time. Didn't he have this like Earthbound Papas band for a while? Life is a circus. I'm just gonna skip the next cutscenes again so we can queue in while there's still people trying to do it.
What the fuck is this helm?
Does it give you... Holy shit, it does give you wolf face. You gotta roll on that if you didn't already. That's ridiculous. Pets.
Got it.
Cool. It should be a little Lalafell wolf face.
BRB bio.
Fashion fantasy. So I'm gonna watch these cutscenes later. I'm skipping them now so that we can quickly queue back in. But could anyone in chat give me a summary of what's going on? Oh, we can ride mounts here.
Ah.
Ooh, I got the... Maybe everyone got one of those, the Zandy card. Yeah, well, I don't want to watch the cutscenes and then get stuck waiting 30 minutes to queue back in.
Oh.
All right. The next one is my favorite 24-man.
Yeah, sweet. Even more so than the Heavensward ones?
Maybe just because I did this one so much. This was the current one when I was first getting to this point in the game.
Mm-hmm. I think that my favorite 24-man stuff we've done, or even just like raid-ish content, has probably been the Ozma fight. Although some of that coil
Ozma's
stuff
very
really
cool.
if it had been tuned well. There's some cool stuff in Alexander as well, but... At least they just let you walk back in there. Portal to World of Darkness opens up, and if you were doing it at release, you waited 3 to 4 months to actually go in. Now, in the original Final Fantasy III, like, the portal to the World of Darkness, there wasn't even a save point there, right? Like, you saved before you went into the tower, and then you ended up going to the World of Darkness, and that was after having fought, like, the Iron Giant and all those other bosses. You still haven't saved.
Was it a whole dungeon, or was it... Because I've only played, like, 2 bosses on my iOS.
It was... I remember the final dungeon of FF3 was basically a boss rush that had no saving.
Wow.
And it was particularly hard because any of those bosses were gonna wreck you because you didn't know to, cast Mini on it or cast Float or whatever. Clear out the tower, run outside, save, rush to Xander. Okay, that's the best you can do. Wow. World of Darkness now accessible. Let me know here. Got it.
Got it.
I'll get back to the inn and see if I can get to display while we wait. So was Crystal Tower available in the initial launch of Realm Reborn, like the first few turns were a coil? 4 DPS, that's not bad.
2.1 is when they got the first one out.
Gotcha. So they'd already been informed by some of the, initial decision making in Coil. It wasn't so great. Yeah. Those first 5 turns was 5, right? They were pretty bad.
That's what everybody still talks about. The turn 5 twisters.
Yeah. Remind me, which one was 5? Was that the one where you had to stand in a very specific place?
And yeah. Was Big Dragon not vomit. Yeah, the specific place where the snakies would come out and they dive bomb you out of that edge of the map, and then you had to run back to that edge of the map really quickly.
That's right.
It perfectly, but we beat it anyway.
Did it end up having a part of the map that was like kind of wonky, but the elevation worked out that it was safe to stand there, or am I thinking of a different one?
You got it. Dead.
And that wasn't really the intended way to do it, right? It's just players ended up doing it and they decided not to patch it, I guess.
What the intent was for that fight, no clue.
Waiting on DPS. What world do we live in?
Really?
Multiple hexagons. That was fun.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go watch the cutscenes we just skipped while we wait. And keep. Thank you. So, let's see.
Yeah, Darkstar, I wore that outfit for forever. Yep, that one.
Cool.
If Q pops, let me know. Flaring. I don't know if it'll pop up over the Keeper cutscene.
Go watch it.
I will let you know. We are currently 7 down.
Shit, man. People giving up that easy?
8 down.
All by myself. Did Zandy or whatever, did he have any unique mechanics in that final fight? It looked kind of just like a take and spank.
I think we pretty much saw everything. There was the ancient Quega that we had to float out of, and he had the interesting looking swirly sword mechanics, like so many have. Basically a tank and spank beyond most of that.
Alright, so I have to find the actual quest that led to that. It's gonna be fun. Or Donan side quest, maybe? No. Crystal Tower, Chronicle of the New Era. If you look at these two pay packs, it's under the 3rd tab, and you have to switch it to Chronicles of the New Era, Crystal Tower.
Oh, okay.
It's for prosperity that we want to see. I'll just do them in reverse order. So the most important stuff first. Oh, what's with the gnarly... the shadow clone guy of Toga Arune? I know Sid had a gunblade.
He's too cool for school.
He's his own job. Cersei and Nero. Maybe I should watch these in order rather than going backwards.
It makes sense that Sid would have a gunblade because that's what the Imperial Legion all use, right?
Oh, sure.
And Sid was brother
Garlean.
and part of the Imperial Legion.
Does he have the little crystal thing in his head? I don't think I've noticed.
Yeah, he did in the recent story stuff.
Are Garleans human?
Yes. As far as we know. In fact, that's to think their large motivation is the beast races are degenerates because they are pure blood human, etc., etc. And then the complication comes in that no, actually, it's kind of shitty that all these beasts are getting the power and summoning shit.
Thank you.
It's just that they really believe it's better for the world to not have summoning things.
Remind me, we fought Nero in the story, didn't we? He's the one that woke up.
Yeah, in Castrum.
Yeah.
We fought him briefly before we fought the
Big bad.
Akio, head of the Imperial Legion. Just Solid Snake in Japanese is his voice. I forget.
Oh, really?
I forget his voice.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's like the main enemy in One Piece and Solid Snake and a bunch of cool bad guy voices, so I don't remember his name in this game.
Whoa, that's cool looking. So what's the... I'll go back and I'll watch the cutscenes, but what's the... Why in Crystal Tower are we friendly with Nero now? We seem like pretty friendly with Nero as of that last cutscene where... he's running.
If I remember right, it's some of his engineer fuckery has been useful with Sid to get in here. He's power seeking like he always is. Truce.
Yeah, I mean, so having not done Crystal Tower, we were doing the Omega Shinryu stuff, and the point where he unleashes Omega, he does a literal like Kefka laugh. He's like, "Mwahahaha! At last, my pretties are released," or something, and I'm like, "Is he on our side?" I kind of get the sense that he's not. Garm is the shit is this? Garm's supposed to be a two-headed dog. Cerberus is less interesting, brother.
I'm here looking mopos.
He's on his own side. Okay, so he's separate from the Garleans altogether.
Yeah, at this point. Honestly, that's some of the most interesting stuff in the game is the politics that go on with the Legion members and the politics of the Holda.
That's cool. Maybe don't get frozen, it looks like. It seems very bad. The music's sweet. Sacrifice Ninja. Sacrifice Kunoichi. Kunoichi's a female ninja? Or is it a different word?
Oh, you're right. Female ninja. I think there's a more specific cast structure that might imply, but it is basically that.
Drop a ball of ice. Being frozen seems very bad. I may have just been. No, that was the same frozen. Okay. Thrash.
Marstead. Why didn't you watch Naruto?
I haven't watched Naruto or One Piece. Both of them are extremely long, right? Or there's just a ton of episodes at this point?
It's finished up at this point, but it also, well, controversial statement, but it was never a class.
Anger Menu is the super boss in Final Fantasy X-2 as well. It's named for Zoroastrianism. Don't get two of the same color debuff. Take the boss in the center.
You probably know one move this guy's gonna do, right?
Really turn away
Yeah.
at some point.
Kill the hourglasses. How do you get different color debuffs?
That's cool, Serp.
That's cool, sir. Zoroastrianism was the first dualistic religion. Ahura Mazda was the good god, and Anger Menu was the evil god. What's the deal with the two halves of the screen there?
Just don't get two of
Oh,
one.
get on the other side. Okay, gotcha.
Pick one and pick the other.
Yeah, I
Really-
see that. Your damage taken
Level
from the
100
same color
flare.
is.
Get out! Get out!
That's pretty cool. L5 death. Kill the hourglasses. Oh, that's neat. Wow, that's cool. This is a really neat fight.
Make sure you're Control F focused so you know when he's mortal eyeing us.
Wow, good call.
Mortal gaze!
Look away.
Right.
Wow. Nobody died to it.
Oh man!
What
Look
the
at this
shit?
group.
He's fucking picking. You see the big cursor? He's like,
Get out!
That's so, yeah, the giant cursor. That's fucking amazing.
he's making the levels, like the option select noise when it moves.
That's really cool. Wow. I need more of this. Yeah, it makes it more of a bummer that in the opposite side we were in before, I guess.
Yep.
I can see why you'd be bummed that the Heavensward dungeon, level 150 death, get out of the circle, presumably. Why the Heavensward dungeon wasn't just like, Kefka's Tower, or what was the final dungeon in FF4?
At aggro, all the tanks are down but you, I think.
Oh shit, okay. Try to keep him from cleaving everyone if we can. Gotta take him in the center though, right?
Mortal Eye.
Gaze.
He hits pretty heavy if your healers aren't watching.
Ow, stare. What's the reason for taking him in the middle? It's easier to pick sides, I guess, when he does the split spell
Yeah.
on the ground.
For this.
How now, Fryman? Fill your eyes with double vision. Yeah, I love the cursor sound. It's great. I can barely hear it.
And Final Fantasy IV's final dungeon, like,
Shit, I'm standing.
I remember there being a lot of bosses there.
Oh god.
My bad for changing my sound settings during the boss fight. I love that hourglass mechanic though, with the cursor changing. It's fantastic.
Shit.
Oh, I got Doom. What causes Doom? I missed that.
I think everyone gets it, but I think the pads remove it.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the what do we call it, Minotaur fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lunar stuff.
that's conjecture. I don't know that for sure.
Womp womp.
That's cool.
This is not untypical of this fight.
Mechanics are for cars.
You got a hold button.
Do move in the circles. Don't stand in the same half both times. Don't stand in the brightly lit cursor quadrants. It will kill you if the total sum of the people in the circle is level 150 or a multiple. That's a really cool way to do a level 5 death mechanic. Wow. In an MMO where that wouldn't normally work. Yeah, this is a pretty sweet dungeon. So the doom clearing circle you have to be careful with, it sounds like.
Well, I think are those different circles? Because there's the black circle around him that I think is level 150 death, and then there's the healing circles that are away from the center that I think are just good.
Yeah.
If you're tethered, get out of the circle, don't try to math it.
Yeah. You can see those 4 things around him right now. That's where the good remove debuff is.
Stand in flashing red or purple areas, turn for mortal gaze, kill hourglasses. That's funny, it's why I didn't even notice it went down so fast. So we had a DPS quit, but that was about it. So what is that brightly lit circle over there right now?
That cleanses it. That cleanses your death.
You have to. Okay. So I was in black that time. I have to be in white next time. And he just occasionally casts death on people, presumably?
No, that I think that's a big cast bar.
Out of the red.
I'm stuck.
Got it.
How do you get bound?
I think you just cast it on somebody.
Okay. And that gave me some kind of debuff? So I can mouse over here. Maximum HP reduced, damage taken is increased. Is that like a tank swap?
Nobody does, though.
God, I can't get over how cool the Doom casting is there. The roulette. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think this has been their most significant effort to try to like recreate a
Gaze.
That's
Thank you.
classic fight.
Okay.
And it final casts once all the hourglasses are done. Oh, I guess that it probably, if the hourglasses stay alive too long, it also just final casts randomly, and then you don't have time to get out of it. white this time.
So see that black circle?
Yeah.
That's 150 death.
Gotcha. And it's just easiest for everyone to get out of it, rather than to try to math it.
Yeah. Let's see. More gaze. So anybody that got hit with a death needs to get in the circle. They're all fine. I guess the gaze does that then.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's centered on one person. Everyone gets out of the groups. Gotcha. That's probably a better, like, it would have been cool if they forced you, but with 24 people, I could see why they wouldn't. They want to make it somewhat buggable. Black this time.
Double monk in this thing. Look away.
White.
Good. Good. I totally see red and blue. Where do you get white and black?
Oh no. What color's the dress?
Colors, Duke. Colors.
It's the Ikaruga color scheme. I don't know if you ever played that, but red and black and white and blue are basically the same thing. Mortal Gaze. That went really well.
Hoot. Mechanics are for cars.
That's funny. Wow, this is pretty sweet looking zone too. You look out at the portal up there in the corner. Hey, at least they're getting some reuse out of that sweet model.
Marcellus.
Nice. Expand my chat box so I can actually see the Moogle. Buff Moogle. You've seen the Dub Trio cosplay, right?
The
I think I know what
cosplay,
you're
no.
talking about, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I've seen that image.
Yeah, they'll do that. Google Dub Trio cosplay. It's pretty funny. Focus on portals that pop at A and B. Team A focus on A. C split. One during Queen, one during Zan. And Zan kill
What?
middle first.
Spoilers.
There's not that much thought to this fight. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, right. Bright red hair, blueberry armor, Kano mask. Yep, this is Blind Knight. I need to get a bunch of glamour crystals for Stormblood so I can still be blueberry.
Yeah. Can you farm those? How's that work?
I can craft them. They got rid of all the tiers, thank God. It was more complicated than it needed to be. Void Call. Probably don't want them to cast that.
You usually get 2 of these down.
I have aggro on her without really earning it. Also, her health dropped a bit. Stone is better.
Yeah.
Why is it giving us... Oh, that's fine. It's not over yet.
Not over yet. You haven't played Mega Man X4, have you?
Did you guys see Wonder Woman yet?
Yeah.
Really good.
Is it as good as announced?
I'd say it's a solid B plus. It's really, really good though, and in the context of every other DC movie, it's amazing. Experience.
As a big DC apologist, I actually found more fault with it than other recent titles. Totally backwards from the rest of humanity. But it was really good. I mean, my only complaints were some of the they played fast and loose with some World War I history, which is like a super fucking pretentious nerdy thing to like be annoyed about. So I'm not actually annoyed about it, but that was the only thing.
I don't want to. Well, I won't spoil the end of the movie. You think if I can say this in a way that lets people who have seen it already know what I mean without giving away to anybody else, maybe I can't. It's the hardest thing in the world. Right?
Well, I think you're going to say that the third act feels a lot different than the first two, right? And I would agree with that. A lot of people don't like the third act if you split it up.
Pay attention to it. Is it a very clear 3-act structure, or is it maybe a 5-act structure? I'm assuming it's 3 because that's what Hollywood always fucking does with a superhero movie.
Yeah, it's. I guess I'm using 3-act loosely to just say the end is kind of weird.
Gotcha. No, that's literally what. That's the problem with the traditional 3-act structure. That's all that it is to Hollywood. It's the end. So you're probably 100% correct.
Why did we pull with Limit Break? Also, okay, we kill dragon heads when they can be targeted. That's pretty cool. Now, why is it 5-headed dragon instead of... Because they would probably want to save Tiamat for later. They don't want to use it as a random boss.
Yeah.
Tiamat was one that we found in Heavensward, I think, right? She was encased in whatever.
That may have been
in the last Azaslath. I think that was Tiamat.
Thanks, a frame. Not me, though. Right, there's some kind of tether right now. The little pseudo-dragon thing. That's a thunder.
Help me!
So he's putting this AoE on the floor.
Help me!
It freezes people, which is very bad. White breath. I know Tiamat already exists elsewhere in Final Fantasy, but I was wondering why they called this 5-headed dragon instead of Tiamat.
Mechanic on water!
Discordance? How does this
He's
work?
casting something awful.
Kill all those heads. AoE. Yeah, it seems very bad. I think that each time you kill a head, it restarts the Discordance cast. Okay, but now it's really long.
So back in the day, actually, you would want to nuke them one at a time.
That makes sense, right? To make it last as long as possible. It's pretty super. I thought it was Tiamat in FF3, but... Anyway, I could see them trying to save the name Tiamat since that shows up in other places.
Yeah. I remember we're supposed to kill the prominences pretty quickly, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, it was a Fiend
Right?
FF1. Was it Kraken, Marilith, Lich, and
Lich.
Tiamat? Because they were in FF9 as well. But that felt like that section was cut. I felt like they wanted you to go through these these 4 elemental dungeons.
Get ready to jump.
Jump? Jump?
Get next to the main tank. Oh, there you go. Ebb jumped. It wasn't the main tank, though.
That's cool. In FF9, it felt like they wanted to do like 4 elemental dungeons to fight the classic FF1 fiends, but there's that segment where it's like, oh, we all have to go there at the same time, and they just handle it with a cutscene. Remember, you only have to fight.
That's right. Your bros fight the other 3. Yeah.
All right.
You end up fighting them in the Crystal Dimension, but that reeked to me as a budget problem.
I can see that.
Oh man, so I went on this crazy rabbit hole recently. I forget what game we were watching. It may have been Crisis Core or something from a vodcast. We got to talking about Akifall, about doing a perfect playthrough of Final Fantasy IX. Have you heard of this?
No.
So the idea
What
is
defines
that,
perfect?
well, you have to, exactly. What defines perfect? The thing that's crazy is, in order for it to be perfect, you have to have the Excalibur 2, which means you have to get to Memoria in 12 hours. But that's not the interesting part, because that's just a speed run. The interesting part is you have to do that and also get every missable in the game. And you have to have like
Tough.
copies of every item. Like I think their definition is you have to have enough copies for every character to be able to wear one, plus 1 in your inventory. You have to get all the key items.
God.
And once you get to disc 4, most of the game gets locked out. It is very possible, like, you have about 20 minutes of wiggle room to succeed at it. Oh, the other crazy thing is that in order for your save to be perfect, the way the leveling system works in FF9, your stat bonuses you gain when you level up is based on the gear you have equipped. So you have to get to the end game at level 1, because otherwise you don't have the right gear equipped. It's fucking insane. You should Google it sometime. There's a couple of speedrunners that have done it that explain it.
Isn't that the one where you've got to pop the disc out if you want to get that far in 12 hours?
Yes,
Skip
exactly.
cutscenes?
You have to pop the disc during cutscenes because they count against your game time.
I did that Excalibur 2 one at one point, and that was the most annoying thing in emulator, trying to get past the cutscenes to not waste time.
So unload up panel after the pull. You target to jump off the ledge. Oh, okay. And then you can jump back up with a little thing down there. That's cool. That's actually really sweet. Yeah, right? I think... And that's why Sakaguchi uses Tiamat to mean a 5-headed dragon, Johan. He was a big D&D nerd.
So I'm targeted, so I'm jumping off.
Oh, so this is legit a Tomos, like the Primal?
As close as we're gonna get, yeah.
That's pretty sweet. See a Tomos Prime health bar there. I
So
think
can you guys get me back on now?
I think there's a little panel you can walk on to jump back up.
The other groups have to light it up for us, though, so they may not have done it yet.
How do they light it up?
The other groups need to step on the white on their top.
There
Now
it
we got
goes.
one.
Gotcha. That's pretty sweet. This is a cool fight.
Oh god.
Was it Tomos in FF3? I thought he was just in 5. And then 9,
5.
obviously. It looks like the Howling of Tomos has a threat table, but its attacks are kind of random. Keep stepping on Glotaz. How could you tell you were targeted earlier, Apex?
I had a reticle over me,
Okay.
and then I jumped down. But I also got devoured by him, and then he spat me down there too, so it might just happen. Like Tenko's has it now.
Where is
It's not going
Tomos
to jump
Prime?
down.
I don't see it.
Oh, he sucks in whoever's targeted. And if you're in that quarter, then you're going to get sucked in too.
Correcto.
So you should jump off if you're targeted and no one gets sucked in. That's what I did the first time.
Gotcha. Were we supposed to be able to see Atomos Prime during them? Maybe you can only see him when you get sucked in.
I see.
Whoa, that's a pretty cool model.
No, B is for belly. Right. C is tank, B is for belly, A is for ads. Oh, I'd say it's Dark Star because he wants you to see belly. That's why. Okay. We can do whatever.
Big old pupper. That's cool, Cerberus.
Yeah, belly's cool.
I love it. So I just let him eat me, even though it's kind of not correct to do that.
Well, you gotta get hit by the gastric orb.
Gastric orb to get eaten.
Yeah, stand next to a gastric orb and then go get in the purple goo.
Okay. That's pretty sweet. This guy looks like a Breath of the Wild shrine monster.
Yeah. I imagine those are helmets they're gonna fly off in a second.
This is pretty sweet. Plutonium. Get it? Pluto, Hades. Where his dog is.
When he cleaves a lot, so don't stand in front of him if you can help
You're
it.
not tanking. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
This is generally true. Those little chains. Let me know when you see those gastric orbs and try to watch for them. Charges and tail swipes. DPS of his flanks. Okay. Gastric juice I see is a separate thing right now.
Yeah, let's go get in that.
Let me go stand in the purple after that.
Once you're tiny.
Shrinks you.
A lot of people are tiny.
Oh, I love the music. That's really cool. Wow. Yeah, so it pulls you in here, and you can still hear the music, but they added this like effect to it to make it sound like you can hear it outside of his stomach. That's pretty neat. You can tell it's a Cerberus' stomach from the way it is. Yeah, it's Cthulhu. Yeah, thanks, Darkstar. I was trying to show it off on stream.
Click the chains, bring it to him.
Click the chains and bring it to him.
Yep. See, he's stunned.
Oh, okay. Because we messed up his stomach.
At the length of that bar. Yeah. He's got to be chained on both ends.
That's...
There we go.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
This is a sweet fight.
Cool.
Raise the B healers. So everyone breaks your stomach walls.
Yeah. He's a charger.
Try to hold the wolf's banes, they stop killing the healers. Hound out of hill.
Have at his front because he's going to charge. Closer to the chains.
Whoa.
Targeted.
Do I need to tank the ads closer to him? Does it matter?
As long as they're grouped somewhere, I don't think it matters. Ah!
Server slumps.
Him.
Man, I really want to give us these sashes instead of the cool looking loot.
Hate belts. Remove belts from the game. Please. Please, Yoshi.
They don't even show on your character, do they?
No.
Unplayable. Whoa, pitch black. Cool. Body darkness hype.
Should I watch this?
I think we're in the arena already. Hey, there's Cloud of Darkness music. Sweet. I think we're okay. I think we're in the arena.
I'll let you know when they go. Yeah, you're in the arena anyway. Sorry, I am a knob.
Yeah, it looks like we're okay. Sweet. That's pretty rad. I really do like the giant, like, part of the arena bosses, like Sephiroth. Try to absorb clouds. People need to stand on them to slow them down. I think Ori was joking with Joestar. California jokes. I don't think I've ever lived anywhere in California that requires small testing.
Punch the cloud.
Beautiful treasure.
Excuse me.
Me and Ori, we're on the same wavelength here. Pepto-Bismol boy. Big old doggo. In the South, they do something awful called rolling coal. Have you seen that shit?
Yeah.
Someone's already in a circle. Find a different circle. All right, let me see if I understood all this. We got to stand in the clouds to keep them from reaching her.
As you DPS them down, yeah.
3 big clouds will appear near the letters. We want to DPS those.
Right. That'll be late in the fight.
Stand in circles. Don't stand in someone else's circle. People in the circle builds and will break faster. Don't stand in front of her unless you're powered by lasers. Eat.
I die. Nah.
She looks like she targets people sometimes. It's like a get away from the raid. Targeting reticle.
Yeah. Our side, like most of the DPS are right now. Voids or beam. Find her. Where'd she go?
Oh, that's
Get out of the beam.
neat. Oh, right. Okay, so Faint Particle Beam targets a player, hits them, and then continues to track them as they move. So it looks like they need to like run away from it.
Yep. That's it.
How do these orbs work again?
And in one per.
Okay, no more than 1 per though.
At least one. Multiples can do it for comfort. But there's going to be a lot eventually.
I guess the thing of doing multiples in there is to make sure that more are covered.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha. What's the grid on dark clouds?
This is where you DPS them and touch them at the same time.
Okay. So they go down pretty fast. What about the dark storms? Same deal?
Same deal. Yeah.
Just trying to suck them in. What was the boss mechanic for this boss in FF3? Did she actually have ads that she would eat? Not that many final bosses in Final Fantasy have mechanics, huh? I guess you have to use the item against Zeromus. X-Death is a tank and spank. Kefka is a tank and spank. Sephiroth's a tank and spank. You do anything fancy for Ultimecia? I think so.
As far as mechanics, there's a lot of phases.
Yeah. You never have to like use an item or something though, or defend on a certain turn.
Don't remember it. Pretty neat speedrun trick in the 100% speedrun of FF8, where they've all got like the sacrifice move or something, and so whoever you get, the fighter just continually suicides against you. Like, this is like first Irvin suicides, then Squall suicides the next form. Never knew what the next form is. Pretty funny.
Recharge Cloud. Everyone go to their alliance. Okay.
Only got a couple seconds to get there.
And she did some super laser attack after the clouds phase. I'm guessing that would have damaged way more if she'd eaten any of the clouds. And it locks her in. Okay. Gotcha.
And beam. Not gonna get hit by. Yeah, well. Oh, okay.
Uvula is one of those words that I'm like, yeah, oh wait, that's not gross.
Meteors. Yeah, like no range back there.
That is way more circles, you're not kidding. Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited for Stormblood to reduce the number of the abilities on my bar. Like, it's almost manageable with the double tap skills, but it's going to stop them from adding more. Kill the ads, which there are many more now. It's cool that you can like physically block them from progressing here. She's so hungry.
She's got like big damage resist right now, so better to still attack things. Nice.
Nice. That was pretty sweet. But we really knocked that out.
It wasn't so bad.
Pretty cool.
That should be about it for me for time for today, but that was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys, for popping on for that. You want to try to do something? Was it Saturday morning is best for you, Apex, for checking out Stormblood?
I can't do Sunday, but I could do Friday night or Saturday morning, or both.
Okay, and it would be late Friday night, early Saturday morning?
I'm getting back early.
Okay.
It'd be whenever you're available Friday night.
Sure. No tank gear across all three. I'll be busy today, I'm sorry. I'd like to join you guys sometimes, though. Maybe Andrew would be interested, too. Anyone else who's interested in playing Talisman with Yahan, shoot him a whisper or a Discord message. Yeah, so that means we have to finish pre-ordering Stormblood, and I guess we can probably get it all installed before this weekend.
I haven't checked on install yet.
No worries,
You can
Matt.
go ahead and log your pre-order.
I probably won't play it. Well, Friday is when it first becomes available, right? And it goes down for maintenance on like Wednesday, Thursday, or something.
Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern Time is when it launches.
Okay. Alright, I'll follow up on the thread to see about Stormblood Friday or Saturday. It's a pretty cool raid, Matt. It's worth running sometime. Very face roll, though. I think there were only a couple fights. The Anger Main U fight was probably the hardest. Just because it has instant death mechanics. Hero's pretty gnarly looking. Back to the Final Fantasy Tactics podcast here shortly. What was the deal with Doga and Une in Final Fantasy 3? They brother and sister or something? I remember having to get the Doga's artifact in FF9.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess... So, seriously, check out the FF9 Perfect Game. See if you can find a video that explains it. Did you hear about the side quest that they didn't find in FF9 until, like, a year or two ago?
What?
There's this side quest in the game where it's... Do you remember the Nero brothers, I think they're called? The Zanero brothers or something? They're, like, members of the Tantalus troop. They both look the same.
Yeah.
Apparently, every like discrete step of the final dungeon, you have to leave the final dungeon and go back to talk to them at Tantalus, and it progresses this side quest that gives you a 10th promised ring. And they didn't discover it until a couple years ago. So there were people who had Perfect Game files that were invalidated by the discovery of the side quest and had to do it all again.
Wow.
But it's still possible. It's just got a tolerance of like minutes. So everybody does it as a segmented speedrun. guess like the little mini game where you have to impress the nobles at the beginning. You have to do that perfectly because otherwise you won't have enough gil to do everything in time.
No, that would ruin it right there.
Yeah, right.
It's impossible. Do you have to do the 100 jump ropes, the VV in the very beginning?
You don't have to do it at the beginning. You can, thank God. There's a guy who did it as a proof of concept where he just he only uploaded the split where he actually completed it, the little segmented speedrun, but he'll like talk in each one. I guess when he was doing the Impress the Nobles one, he was really struggling with it, and he had people in chat tell him like, dude, you just need to get a CRT. And he got a CRT and did it on the first try.
Oh, really?
DK64, they found a coin that invalidated 100% runs. It was under a dirt mound. It was under waist-high grass. Wow. That's crazy. I think that FF9 perfect game run is like, that's the epitome of what I like about speedrunning. I don't really care to watch runs over and over for a route that's already been determined, but like the whole theory crafting of let's try to figure out what the proper route is and what are the glitches that we can abuse. And that's really interesting to me. Latency, Leon, yeah. It's mild, but it's enough to matter in that minigame. I guess like if you're a super serious Smash Brothers Melee player, you'll play it on a CRT. So I guess Nero got all cleaned up after this. He went to his dry cleaner.
Birdie.
The dude who does the run, he has a like 20-minute opening video before the run begins where he just like explains what it's going to be. So if you don't want to watch 12 hours of FF9, like you just watch the 20-minute video of him explaining all this crazy bullshit he has to do.
I'm unique among most people in that I don't mind watching huge ass speedruns.
Right.
I watched this dude does like a 38-hour 100% playthrough of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
watched a lot of it.
Does
That's
that
how long it
include
takes
the
to get
seeds?
everything. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder how much room they have to time save on that, because I know they do lots of crazy shit already.
Yeah, I think he's routed it pretty well, just kind of grouping area, like basically take the template from the real 3-hour speedrun and expand it where you need to get Koroks wherever you are.
Did he do it manually? I feel like you'd want to use an algorithm for that at some point, like figure out the distance between Korok seeds. It's a traveling salesman problem, right?
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those that's so long that you just get the record when you do it. Nobody else is.
Right. Well, that's what I wonder. Like, are we going to get 5 hours of savings from plugging it into a traveling salesman?
Potentially, yeah.
You have to figure out, and then I guess Breath of the Wild has very mild unlock, like progression gating unlocks, but suppose you need a torch for a puzzle, like figuring out where the torch is and how early you can pick it up and how you can fit it into the number of slots you have. Yeah, I think solving the optimal route for a 100% playthrough of Breath of the Wild would be a really interesting problem. Hey, he got his dry cleaner. Good job, Nero. I'm going to link the Perfect Game Guy in Twitch chat. I'll put it in Discord as well. His first video where he explains it, and there should be a playlist where it starts with that and transitions into the run.
Lol, sir.
If only I hadn't monologued. Oh, he's doing the Lalafell panic. Hooray! It's interesting that they always introduce this like special character for all the raids. That you like never see again in the story outside of it.
Yeah.
It looks so small next to a full height rogue female.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine these cutscenes as a Lalafell. Have to have someone to fee for you, right? Cool. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna sign off on stream. I'll pop back into Discord here in a sec.
Alright.
Okay.
Thanks to everybody for hanging out. I'll give you guys a heads up on what's coming up next. Let me fix my overlay here really quick. I have no arms or no shoulders. Holy shit.